we're very lucky that we have had the opportunity to bring several Van Goghs to TEFAF. This is now the 6th time.
Can you tell a bit more about it? What is it and when did he make it?
So this was painted towards the end of July 1885, and it depicts a cottage, a typical cottage from the Brabant region here in the Netherlands. And this is a peasant woman just outside the cottage. We have chickens roaming, and this is a very optimistic painting. Even though some of the earlier paintings from his Dutch period can be very dark and very moody, this is actually very, very bright, done in the height of summer.
The sky is blue.
The sky is blue, the sun is shining, exactly. We also have an immense amount of detail in this painting. So everything from these very typical Dutch Golden Age, almost like Pieter de Hoog and Vermeer type brickwork, to the tiny dots of the flowers, the chickens, and the poppies in the field behind. But it also looks towards his later style, his more established style from the French period. When you see how he's painted the tree trunks and the tree foliage here, it anticipates his later work. It also has a wonderful signature, and certainly not all Van Goghs are signed.
No. This is a very clear one.
Very clear, yes, absolutely. And what we have here is an unusually large work by Van Gogh. They're very rarely as large as this. This is one of the largest he ever painted, and it's almost the same scale as the famous potato eaters in the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. It also has a remarkable history to it. It was in a Staffordshire collection from the 20s onwards, and through descent, through that family. It lived in a nursery at one stage, and then an attic, and finally, they didn't really know what they had at this stage. They sold it at a farm equipment sale in Staffordshire in 1968. And an antiques dealer from a London shop decided to buy it, and he paid the sum total of £4 in 1968 in this farm machinery auction. And then he puts it in his shop, and a few months later, an Italian journalist called Luigi Grosso fell in love with the painting. Nobody really understood that Vincent meant Van Gogh, and he thought, oh, I'll buy that, and he bought it for £45. So the dealer must have thought, great, I've made 10 or 11 times my money. And then the Italian journalist who owns this picture now for £45 thought he'd visited the Hayward exhibition of the Van Gogh recently, a show, and he thought, well, this looks really like some of his early work. I'll write to the curator of that show. So he wrote to Alan Bowness from the Courtauld, and he said, any chance, and it's so unlikely that... Anyway, they brought it in to the Courtauld, they examined it, and indeed it was discovered as being by Van Gogh. And so there's a wonderful photo of it being taken down Bond Street in 1969 when it was rediscovered and published in the Burlington magazine. Just a man with the painting under his arm.
It was a shock.
A good shock. Yeah. One of those stories you wish happened to you all the time. So since then, since 1968, it has been known and published as a Van Gogh. And it has subsequently gone through some interesting people's collections. A man named Levine, an American producer, he produced films like The Graduate and A Bridge Too Fast. So it's had a really interesting past.
And I guess that it's not now here for sale for £45, isn't it?
A little bit more than that now. A little bit. In the region of $15 million.
Yeah. With the other Van Goghs you brought here, how did that go after the fair or during the fair in Maastricht?
I have to say we've been very lucky. We have managed to find homes for almost all of them here during the fair in the past.